Russian President Vladimir Putin, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Commander-in-Chief of the Russian Navy Nikolai Yevmenov attend the Naval Day Parade in Saint Petersburg. America versus Russia duel could put the world in danger. The tension in the relationship between America and Russia is heating up. Both imply a signal for war. The world is predicted to be in danger, in any case. Economics, military and technology both dominate world powers. The rhetoric of war seemed to be something that would happen. Washington and Moscow are both hard to beat. Most recently, the negotiations between the two parties in Geneva reached a stalemate. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said relations between the two camps were at their lowest point since the Cold War. Aggressive tactics of Russian troops on the border with Ukraine and other activities has sparked widespread condemnation from the West. The Kremlin has denied the accusations. Russia instead accused America of provocation. If there is a war, the world will certainly be in chaos. The military power of the two countries was terrifying. US and Russia both have intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance equipment. Meanwhile, the Russian Space Command leased radar technology from a neighboring country. Both have communications equipment and satellites, although the US also has a rival communications system in space. United States nuclear weapons, the first country in the world to develop nuclear warheads and its military to actually use them. Russia stockpiles a total of 6,490 warheads, which is barely more than the United States. When viewed from the number of warheads deployed, the number is the same as that deployed by America, which is 1,600 warheads. The world also remembers about the fact that Russia carried out more than 700 tests, which makes them the second most important country in terms of developing nuclear weapons. Soviet Union, who succeeded in creating the largest bomb in the world. Known as the Tsar Bomba, it had an explosive yield of 15 megatons of TNT. America versus Russia ready to fight in the Black Sea. The two giant countries are ready to fight. The Black Sea is getting darker. The Americans were seen actively maneuvering the warship USS Roosevelt, DDG-80. Uncle Sam's excuse was that his military entered the area for routine military operations. Together with NATO, America considers the region a strategic international area. It even promised to increase its presence there. The American 6th Fleet routinely operates in the Black Sea to support our allies and partners in the region. The U.S. Navy Europe Africa said on its Twitter account. Russia does not want to be silent. Understandably, the Black Sea is the water between southeastern Europe and Asia Minor. This area is controlled. The Russian war fleet responded by trailing the ship. All are closely monitored by the Russian National Defense Management Center, NDCC. A provocation designed to test Moscow's nerves. The United States is our enemy and is doing everything it can to develop Russia's position on the world stage. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said, "We don't see any other element in their approach." That's our conclusion. He made the comments. President Joe Biden called Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, a murderer and asked Moscow to pay the price for alleged interference in our election. "We are simply reaffirming our belief that our path is the right way," Ryabkov said. "There is absolutely nothing American ships can do near our shores. This is purely a provocative act in the sense that they directly test our strengths playing with us." Russian President Vladimir Putin blames the U.S. for what happened. Russian President Putin does not deny that the West's actions continue to fuel Russian concerns. Putin explains that NATO infrastructure moves further and appears in Ukraine time. Missile flights will be reduced if US and NATO missile systems appear in Ukraine, then their flight time to Moscow will be reduced to up to 10 minutes. And with the deployment of hypersonic weapons being 5 minutes, he said. Putin said Russia would take adequate military techniques in response to hostile actions by the US. He stressed that Russia has the right to do it, so I wanted to emphasize that we have the right to do it. Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that a potential World War III between Russia and the United States and NATO over Ukraine is very possible. The possibility is very open if Ukraine joins a NATO member. NATO is Russia's rival but is now close to Kiev. Ukraine is part of the Soviet Union but is in conflict with Russia due to Putin also accused the West of being the cause of this tension. He said that in fact Ukraine was only a tool on his springboard for the CS agency to start a conflict with Russia. Previously, the US and its allies suspected that Russia had attacked Ukraine in February, where around 100,000 Russian troops were said to have been stationed at various points along the border with Ukraine. In his harshest warning to Americans in Ukraine to get out now, President Joe Biden said he would not send troops to rescue Americans in the event of a Russian attack. US President Joe Biden has urged his citizens in Ukraine to leave the country immediately. This is because of the threat of a Russian invasion in the midst of the ongoing crisis in Eastern Europe. In the event of a Russian military action, the US State Department said it could not evacuate residents. Therefore, the US government urged its citizens to get out before the war. Americans have to go now, Joe Biden said in a taped interview. It's not like we're dealing with a terrorist organization, he added. According to Joe Biden, if the citizens do not immediately save themselves, a bad situation will occur when the invasion is carried out. We are dealing with one of the largest armies in the world. It's a very different situation and things can go crazy fast, said Joe Biden. Biden's comments come as officials in Russia continue to counter Western accusations that Moscow is seeking to install a pro-Russian puppet government in Ukraine, or planning to carry out a mock attack by the Ukrainian military. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov dismissed Britain's recent claims that British Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab's threats against the Kremlin. According to Lavrov, the accusations and threats were an attempt to stoke drama and create a tragedy. However, looks more like a comedy.